I just want to apologize in advance if I end up burping because Jeremy brought us sodas again. Jeremy,
I love
Dallas.
the sodas.
It's like saying, I just want to apologize for being on crack cocaine
I don't think that's
because
comparable.
Jeremy brought me crack cocaine.
That's not the same.
So I guess here I am on crack cocaine. I guess I'm high.
Not comparable
Tell me how
at
it's
all.
different.
Because crack cocaine is worse than carbonation.
Where's the difference in the
Crack cocaine
the
is obviously
Where's the difference
bad for you. Carbonation's not bad for you.
Yeah,
It just makes you bloaty and burpy.
Yeah, but do you want to be bloaty and burpy?
Aspartame.
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 You don't want to be bloaty and burpy.
Aspartame's bad for you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
But I'm becoming more addicted to it since I've been drinking zero sugar sodas.
Crazy how you've been addicted to it. Kind of like someone could be addicted to crack cocaine.
You know, whatever. It's Coke either way, right?
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. Coke
true.
either way. If you are addicted to cocaine, maybe you should get some help. But if you're addicted to Coca-Cola, you should probably also get some help.
Nope. No burp.
Specifically Diet Coke, because that is the one that everyone's addicted to,
Do you
myself
guys know
included.
that we started last week's episode off by talking about Dr. Pepper cream flavored soda, and now we're talking about
Oh yeah,
Really?
Coke.
That's true.
That's funny.
That's true.
Well, I just had
We're
to
not a
share
sponsor.
that because I've gotten a couple comments about my burp a couple episodes ago. So
Really?
Really?
Someone commented on your burp?
somebody was like, "Hey, your burp was the best part," and I was like,
Who
"Great,
said
thank you."
that?
Yeah, who was
Josh
that?
did.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Josh.
No, don't thanks, Josh. That's not a compliment. That means our show sucked so bad that the best part about it was the burp. Don't thanks, Josh. You know what, Josh?
Josh.
We don't like you anymore.
Screw you, Josh.
You can never come over again.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I hope you hear this. I hope you're still listening.
Oh, he'll hear it.
I
He
hope
listens to all our
that when
episodes.
you are listening to this while you're driving in your car,
When you're commuting to work in the morning,
when you're listening
Yeah.
to us while you're sitting on a toilet,
this is the Anti-Josh
You
podcast.
Sit on your
Toilet?
you sit on-
high tower. Your tower.
where do you get off?
Where do you even get
Oh my
off?
gosh.
Gosh, Josh.
Oh, I guess it's better than Brooke lifting her leg and just farting.
What? Why would you say that?
Could you imagine? She's just like,
That would be really
Why
funny.
would you say that on this freaking podcast,
That would be
bro?
really funny. That might
guess I
actually be
can.
the best part of the podcast.
all right, your challenge today, Brooke, is while we were talking, is to let a little squeaker out without anyone noticing.
Squeaker.
But you have to make a face.
That's not gonna happen.
So that way when we edit the video, we can zoom in on your face. And then I'll do like a whole celebration thing. And like an alarm will go
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
and
yeah.
Brooke farted!
That would be
Hashtag.
so embarrassing.
Hashtag
I'm
little
not
squeaker.
gonna do that. Little squeaker.
Little squeaker.
Squeaker. That's your rap name.
But why? I want to be like Lil Red.
No,
Lil
you're
Lil
a
Red.
squeaker.
Ginge.
You put auto-tune on all your farts.
Gross. That's gross, you guys.
Man.
Whatever.
Have you ever seen that YouTube video? The guy recorded his fart, and he calls it his magnum opus.
No.
It's actually his magnum anus.
Oh my god.
But instead of magnum opus, it's magnum anus. He farted, and he realized that it was in the tune of like a very popular classical song. And he recorded his fart, and he put it with the same classical song, and his fart hits all the notes.
That's gross.
But it wasn't intentional. I mean, I don't think you can be intentional with,
No.
your
He's
fart's
a real,
not like a flute or anything.
What is it? Prodigy? Prodigy?
Prodigy?
Prodigy.
What
You're
is the
right.
correct
You were right.
enunciation?
I was wrong.
Prodigy?
That's
Prodigy?
Prodigy.
that's real talent. you
Tomato,
guys.
tomato.
Yeah.
That is real talent.
Well, actually not tomato.
Guys, we are 10 minutes in.
We're only 5 minutes in.
Or 5 minutes in.
Yeah. Well, I thought it would
Welcome
be
to
fun.
episode 3 of season 2.
Yes. Yeah, welcome. I thought it'd be fun
Welcome
in
in.
the spirit of shaking things up to momentarily
Shake up
turn
your soda.
our podcast into a breaking news channel
Breaking news.
and just review some items on the news that we thought would be interesting.
Ooh.
Some of them aren't really like news, like current events. They're just articles that I thought would be interesting. So,
Have you heard of this today?
yeah. Have
burped
you
again.
heard with Purd? Is that the guy? Have you heard with Purd? You ever watch Parks and Rec?
Oh, yeah.
No.
I think it's heard with Purd.
You heard with Purd.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Can
Parks
you
and
do
Rec.
your best breaking news Gab Addicts intro?
Yeah, I was going to
Breaking news on Gab Addicts.
That's
That's
nice.
what I got.
Nice, Jeremy. What about you, Tonio?
For some... I don't want to do it. I'm going to come off as super racist.
Don't do anything that's not appropriate.
For some reason, I just had the voice of like... You ever watch Team America?
Yes, I love Team America.
It's a very racist voice. I'm not going to do it.
There's a lot of racist voice in Team America.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
had a racist voice stuck in my head. Sorry, guys, I'm not going to do it.
We'll do it later. We don't
I don't
want
know
you to
what
be
you're
mad at
talking
us.
about, but
All right, ready? So from
lost.
my trusty and reliable source, Screen Rant.
Ooh, Screen
I
Rant.
love Screen Rant.
Yeah?
I'll have you know before we start this first article, I'm actually a top Facebook fan on Screen Rant, and I even have the little comment
Oh.
badge.
wow,
Nice.
Jeremy.
I always
Yeah.
feel like I've accomplished something when that notification comes up.
Yeah.
Like you were a top commenter and you get like a little jewel
Yeah,
or
you
something.
get a little
Like,
jewel,
yeah.
a little badge next to your name,
Yeah.
and then your comments get, I think, boosted
Yeah.
higher into the...
It's an achievement.
So it's a big deal.
I don't know why I'm a little surprised that you comment on all these Facebook pages because you were telling us about this earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm also not surprised because you like to troll people a little bit.
I do. It's really fun. I've been doing it for as long as I've been on social media, which has been a long time now.
You like to
Professional
rile
troller.
them up.
I like to just poke. And I don't punch down. I always punch up. And usually it's so far up that they don't even see. So it's not like, you
Well,
know.
Jeremy, what you need to do is text me when you comment on these things. And if there's any way I can upvote your comment,
There you
I will
go.
upvote your comment.
Like
what we need to
it,
do.
Yeah.
comment on
Share it.
Like my troll post before they delete it.
They've been getting deleted.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been getting deleted. All right, here's the first article.
All right, from
today.
Screen Rant.
Yeah, and I think we might have some varying opinions on this.
Okay.
This is 10 worst character changes in the MCU.
Ooh.
So
Like, what do they mean by character changes?
I'll give you an example. Here's the first one. Thor, the comic relief.
Okay.
That's the second one.
For quite some time, Thor
It's
has
one of
been
them.
one of the best of the Avengers. In part, this is because Chris Hemsworth is just incredibly charming and charismatic, but also because he has an arc and a character, enduring some self-doubt before fully embracing who he is. Unfortunately, this starts to change in Infinity War, and there are even vestiges of it in Thor: Love and Thunder. In essence, he has become little more than comic relief, which robs this particularly important character of so much that had made him an interesting and indispensable part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay. So
Thoughts on that?
First off, I don't mind Thor being comedic. I like comedic Thor from was it Endgame
Yes.
and Ragnarok,
Yes.
but not Love and Thunder.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like your perspective
Seriously,
is
kind of like dumb.
Yeah,
what a lot of
and-
people have, which is that like they basically pushed him as far as they could push him comedically in Love and Thunder and Endgame.
Yeah.
Like that is like Fat Thor Lebowski Thor is like as far as it was okay to push him in the comic direction.
They kind of made him like stupid in Love and Thunder.
Not kind of. They made him really.
They made him really
dumb, yeah.
stupid because
Really
he's not
stupid.
a stupid guy.
Yeah.
He's just a little naive sometimes, like characterly. That's not a
Char-
word.
But also,
Characterly.
this is well, that's true. Like in the first Thor, but as each movie goes on, he's supposed to learn more and like develop and
Yeah.
become
Yeah.
less naive
Yeah.
because of his new experiences.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the first one he's really naive, right? And it's kind of funny. Even the first one, he's kind of funny, where it's a more serious movie, but he's kind of funny sometimes
With
where
his
he's like
blonde
slamming the
eyebrows,
mug
yeah.
on the ground.
Another!
I want another. You know, like
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
naivety is like,
Nice.
it's funny. But he's supposed to like develop and grow and change and learn, you know. And how many of these movies has he been in now? Like how many movies has
one,
Thor been in?
Quite
a
A
lot.
lot.
3,
Actually, I have a list
Infinity
of all the Marvel
War,
movies on my phone.
Endgame, and then he's been in like 6.
Yeah. You know, so you think like he should have developed and grown, you know, over the course of time. And it feels like the Love and Thunder movie, he's like dumber than he's ever been.
Yeah, it's you know what
know?
you know what I've noticed is they don't know how to write the really strong characters. And I think this goes for the same with Superman too.
Yeah.
You know, and their only option is let's make him funny and dumb.
Right, right.
You know, you have
Yeah.
some really strong characters. Just let them be strong. You know,
Right.
And not all strong characters have to be these like all muscle and no brain.
He's
You
been
know?
in 9 movies.
They kind of did that with the Hulk. You know?
Yeah, they did that with the Hulk for a while, and then they kind of corrected like more recently. With
Yeah.
his whole like Bruce Banner and Hulk are the
Yeah.
same person, but yeah, and I don't know, like there's a way to do it right, you know, where you can write a strong character and he can still be funny, and he can, I think the Ragnarok movie proved like there's a line there where you
I
can
think
do
that was
everything.
my favorite Thor movie.
I have another
the best
controversial
one.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of gender switching characters. So when I heard that Taskmaster was going to be in the Black Widow movie, I was like,
yeah.
hell yeah, freaking Taskmaster, dude.
Yeah,
And then it turned out to be a woman.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they didn't even do Taskmaster
Well,
right.
it's just lame too. Like this, the villain was lame. Like
You know what they
woman
did to
or
her?
not, you know.
They Deadpooled her.
Yeah.
They didn't let her talk.
In Wolverine.
Yeah, they didn't let her talk. She was like, she had a burnt face. She was brain damaged. She couldn't talk, but she can fight really well.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
they
I don't
Deadpooled
even.
her.
I don't even remember a lot of that movie. I saw it in theaters, and my brother the whole time kept like leaning over to me and like making snarky remarks about the movie.
Best part of that movie was Florence Pugh and David Harbour.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I love
Definitely.
Florence Pugh.
Those
love David
definitely
Harbour.
were the two best parts of the movie for sure.
I love
It's a bummer because
Scarlett.
Scarlett Johansson's awesome, but like even in her own movie, she wasn't like.
She was only
Very
in like an
stand out.
hour of her own movie out of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, real bummer there for sure.
What's another character switch?
Well, you
Let's
want to?
Well, we have a whole
Oh,
list.
we have a
Yeah.
list.
Let me go down the line
very,
here.
their
We
very
have a
first
list
one, though.
of
You
character
missed it.
switches.
Oh, I missed the first one. Did
Yeah.
I? I guess I
Tony
did.
Stark?
Tony stops growing as a person. Okay, that's kind of so. I mean, that's kind of a point I just made.
Well, you know what? They can only do so much. I think if Disney didn't buy out Marvel, Marvel would eventually touched on his alcohol
Yeah, at the
tendencies.
in the second movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
they kind of touched on it, but
Yeah.
like a lot of his story arc in the beginning was him being a alcoholic.
Yes.
You know, and how that kind of like would tear up his friendships with Rhodey and everything. And
Yeah.
but then Disney bought him. They're like, oh, we can't really go that way. We'll hint at it, you know. And in the storyline that they were doing with Tony Stark, I don't think they could have done much anything else because they missed that one key thing.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
was a really cool like direction they were headed with Tony. Is that like essentially? I think the direction they were trying to go in is that at the end of the day, like his worst enemy is himself.
Yes.
Is that like because he's so smart and because he is so like capable. At the end of the day, like the worst person that can sabotage him is himself, you know, and that's a really cool like thing to explore, you know, in terms of like a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it kind of sucks that they sort of revisit that with the Avengers later because he has the hubris of creating Ultron and that like basically blowing up in his face and that kind of all being his fault. Mm-hmm. So they sort of explore that in Avengers, but it's not that like the alcohol thing is way cooler to me because it's more like relatable.
Yeah.
I would have loved for part 2, Iron Man 2, to be about him being alcoholic and him actually fighting Rhodey. And even though it's an Iron Man movie, it would have been cool for Tony Stark to be the bad guy and at the end finally realize, like, I need to stop doing this.
Yeah.
You know, that would have been such a cool, different Marvel movie.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah, I think...
no hate on RDJ, though. Perfect Iron Man.
I've mentioned
He's
many
literally
times on
Iron
this
Man.
podcast that I love him.
Literally Iron
awesome.
Man in real life.
Yeah, no, he's great. And
He's
I
my
think
favorite, actually, out of all the characters.
RDJ?
yeah, he's the best.
The best.
I think that, you know, if it wasn't for like him as an actor, you know, that character could have gotten really stale
Yeah.
quicker.
Could you imagine
know?
if Tom Cruise got that role?
Yeah, if it's like Tom Cruise or someone, like they're not going to be as interesting
He
or as
would have.
funny.
He would have had them build a real suit, and he would have
would've
really
done all of his
flew
own
that
stunts.
thing. Though.
Yeah.
Friggin' the what's it called? The G-force actually hitting his face in
Yeah.
Iron Man suit.
Real G's. He's really flying in the sky. He's really like crashing into planes.
Oh my
That would have
gosh.
been awesome.
He's really shooting lasers out of his hand. What's the next one?
All right, I'm going to skip ahead here because I think this one's really interesting, and this was like my biggest like WTF of Doctor Strange. That is Wanda the Mass Murderer.
Ooh.
And I'll just read the brief little description. For many, Wanda is one of the best female characters in the MCU. It is easy to see why this might be the case, since she was fascinating. She had a fascinating story, and the one is most deeply tragic in the classical sense. However, her character transformation, particularly in Multiverse of Madness, is something that the franchise will probably come to regret. Oh, wow, big words. It is indeed quite disheartening to see her go from being someone who has learned so much about grief and herself in WandaVision to someone willing to commit mass murder so that she can exist in a universe with her children.
Okay.
I have a lot to say about this.
See, that's why I skipped to it.
Okay. Love Screen Rant, but I think they're wrong.
I have a lot to say about this. I know a mass majority of, I want to say, predominantly females who went to see this movie were like, I'm on Team Wanda and I don't care who she kills.
Whoa.
And I'm going to be honest, I felt the same way. Also, though, I do think going from WandaVision to Doctor Strange, they didn't really have enough character arc to get to where they had her become the mass murderer.
Yeah.
I think they needed more substance in order to, you know, make her that. She had a lot with the Darkhold and everything and all that loss she's experienced, and obviously like the Darkhold kind of like hypnotized her into, maybe not hypnotized isn't the right word, but you know what I mean? Like controlled her. But I think she needed a lot more screen time developing into that, because I like her as a villain and I want to see more of her as a villain, but I think they needed more developing on the way to get there.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Go ahead, dude.
they at the end of WandaVision, she's not really set up as a villain.
Yeah.
They don't set her up to go be a villain at the end of that show.
Yeah.
So you don't think she's a villain at all. Like, you don't even find out that this long-time established hero in this continuity is even a villain until, like, just as the movie starts.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's a lot of information to drop on the audience, you know, in the same movie that this is going to be the main villain of the movie is this hero who's been a hero for this whole time. So I get that was like kind of a just like a left turn. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Wow. I completely think it's the opposite of you two.
Really?
Yeah, I actually thought the whole time in WandaVision she was, even though it was Agatha all along, she was still one of the bad guys.
Oh,
because she
yeah.
was still willing to mind control these people, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't think it was it was selfish, but not in an evil, selfish way. Like a lot of villains have.
Well, and so that's a good point, Tony, because like she is a bad guy for doing all that. That's definitely true. You know, it's just that I think as an audience member, that is a bad thing, but it's not like a malicious evil. Like, to make that change from, okay, she kind of did some messed up things in WandaVision to Doctor Strange, where she's literally just killing people, like innocent people left and right.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, it's a jump.
I mean, I think they brought Wanda in too early. We all agree that Age of Ultron wasn't the best Avengers movie. That's probably the least liked out of the Avengers. I thought they brought them in, her and Quicksilver in too early.
Yeah.
You can't really do much without him, without Magneto, without the X-Men, you know?
Yeah.
I didn't mind the quick change in her, like, willing to go all out and just be like, I'm gonna turn freaking Reed Richards into spaghetti and everything.
Yeah,
Because literally in House of M, she gets pissed off and she whispers, "No more mutants." And what happens? There's only like 2 mutants left. All the other mutants disappears. They all disappear. You know, so that's it's not, to me, it's not anything new or different to see Scarlet Witch do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I just wish there was more substance to get to that point.
And that's where the mutants come in. You know?
Right,
I
right.
definitely think they'll use her more once they bring in the X-Men and Magneto and stuff.
I think so too.
I actually think they're going to use her a lot in Secret Wars and the King Dynasty or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're going to have her become one of the strongest ones and fight against King.
I will
Yeah.
also say, like, I think her being a mom, like, I don't know any mom who wouldn't kill people to get her kids back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's it's such a gray area too, because it's like, are the kids actually better off without you though?
yeah, I mean,
Like,
they
they
weren't
are.
real.
Yeah, that's the thing. They weren't real.
But in her
even
mind,
though
they
are
were real.
Yeah.
Right.
In other
yeah.
universes, they are real.
Right, and
So
it's
why
like-
can't they be real in her universe?
Right, but like yeah.
It's called writing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
And that's where I would also disagree with Screen Rant, because even though I do think that like that was a really sudden shift.
Yeah.
The truth is she's a really good bad guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and like I loved her in Doctor Strange. I thought she was awesome, and like
She was the best part of the
all those
movie, in my
parts
opinion.
where she's being savage and like wrecking the Fantastic Four, like those are such cool scenes.
Dude,
Oh my
she
gosh.
literally disappears in the comic books and pops back up, and she's married to Doctor Doom.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's cool.
Doctor
So-
Doom is one of the strongest villains.
I could talk about her for
Yeah.
hours. I will mention, this is a completely different, like, off subject, though. Like, they didn't even mention Vision in Doctor Strange at all.
I don't think they needed to,
Well,
I didn't even realize that.
yeah.
because he will be back for something else.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I love her. She's also one of my favorites.
I call him Vision because he's the white Vision now. Vision.
That's funny.
Vision. Well, let's do one more.
All right, let's see. I don't know if I like that
You want
one.
to? Oh, never mind.
All right. Let's do. Okay, this one's good. Peter Quill becomes a more traditional hero.
Okay.
Sorry.
When the first Guardians of the Galaxy came out, many were surprised at how fun it was and how much it breathed new life into the MCU formula. Key to this was a character of Peter Quill who was refreshing because he wasn't the usual type of hero that the franchise tends to privilege. Unfortunately, this was largely changed, particularly once the Guardians got folded into the larger Infinity War plotline. Quill stopped making rash decisions and boldness that marked him out as his person, not a cog in the Avengers machine, becoming just another powered up guy in a costume.
Wrong again, Screen Rant.
I disagree that it was just random that they did that.
They say Peter Quill became just like every other hero in the franchise, complete with a love story that felt more than a little forced. Huh.
So Peter Quill went to space as a kid. He's still, I would say probably in the next movie he's more of an adult now, but he still acts. He's still immature. Mm-hmm. You can see how immature he is because he's the reason why everyone disappeared. Because that fool punched Thanos in the face.
That's right. That's right.
You can't say that he's like turned into a normal hero.
I think Doctor Strange is the reason why everybody disappeared. Although Peter Quill has a huge
just one moment.
role in it, but I also don't think like him making rash decisions.
What?
And like not doing that anymore was just random. I think like maybe his character's changed since Gamora died. And after him making a rash decision with Thanos causing, mass destruction for the Earth, probably made him start to double think like what he does.
What hero trusts a random guy that you meet in space, a random guy that says, "Hey, I'm your dad. Come to my planet." What hero trusts? Luke Skywalker didn't even trust that fool Darth Vader until you realize, oh shoot, he is my dad.
Yeah. I think, there's only like when you have that many big personalities on screen, like someone like Peter Quill, when you throw him in the mix with Tony Stark and Stephen Strange and like all these other big characters, like larger than life kind of personalities on screen.
Yeah.
He's gonna like lose some of the like charm and wittiness that you like about Peter Quill. Definitely gets just muddied in like this screen time that's got like so many charismatic people on screen. So it's like, oh, Peter Quill lost a lot of his charisma. I don't really think so. I just think that there's so much on screen in the Avengers, particularly Infinity War and Endgame, that it's like, he's not going to shine. He's not going to shine the way he does in Guardians.
Yep.
Where he's the only real. In Guardians, he's the only sort of quippy, fast talker in that ensemble, and that's why he really shines in it. And in Avengers, you've got to contend with, like, just Stephen Strange and Tony Stark alone. Like, both of those characters are, like, so charismatic and so funny and quippy. So, I don't really think that's fair.
Another quick character change, Drax. I don't like the way, even though Dave Bautista does a really good job as Drax, I don't like the way Marvel portrays him. Again, with the comedic relief.
Right.
Even though Drax is more of like this kind of like brute who just really wants to just fight and kill people. Like he's not always dumb like that, And his main storyline was Thanos. Like he's supposed to fight against Thanos. Thanos is the one who killed his wife.
Yes.
And that was his whole thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then they switched it to Ronan being the guy that killed his wife. And did you know that his wife Drax was actually human? Drax, his wife, and his daughter were human.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And Thanos killed him. And yeah, there's a whole storyline about that.
Yeah.
All this stuff in the comics that you don't know about.
It's all in my head.
Like me, I don't know about any of it.
It's all in my head.
You know, unpopular opinion maybe, but I think that this is actually just the byproduct of the fact that I don't think that the Guardians fit very well in with the rest of the Avengers. I think that like those movies are better off on their own because they are an ensemble. They are already an ensemble.
Yeah.
Like there's already a lot of characters and personalities in just them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like when you throw all of them, you like vomit them onto screen with all these other characters. There's not really much for them to do, and the screen time that they have, it's very like limited, you know?
I think even though they pulled off Infinity War and Endgame really well, I think Kevin Feige realized, like, dude, this is freaking hard. Like, meshing all these characters together. And I think that's why he was like, okay, next phase is going to be, like, street level characters with street level characters, cosmic characters with cosmic characters.
Yeah. I think
Spider-Man is a street level character.
That's smart. Oh, for sure. He's from the streets of New York.
Yeah.
And, with Guardians, it's like they always come across on screen best when it's just them. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's like, I'm looking forward actually to the new Guardians movie because I want more of that.
Did you watch the Christmas special?
I didn't.
It was so
dude, the
funny.
Christmas special is good.
Okay, I have Disney Plus again, so I'll have to check that out.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Sponsor us.
Oh, I don't know if I want to be. You won't sponsor us.
Don't hesitate. Sponsor us.
Don't sponsor us.
Coca-Cola, sponsor us.
Yeah, Coca-Cola can for sure sponsor us. That's cool with me.
If we ever get sponsored by Disney, I feel like they're just gonna give us scripts.
They're gonna.
You can't say that.
Whoa!
You can't get up on your chair and twerk.
You can't say this. You can't say this.
She-Hulk twerked in her show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. You can't say this.
You can't
That's
say
what they're
that.
gonna-
You can't wear that.
You can't wear that.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna
Okay, we're mostly black anyways.
I wear
Yeah.
black because I'm colorblind.
That's true. I wear black because I like to wear black. And I like wearing green.
All right.
You're wearing green too.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's off topic.
All right. Mr. News Guy, hit us with another topic.
All right. And other breaking news. There's two that I really thought would be fun to talk about. I'll talk about this one briefly since Brooke doesn't want to.
I don't have any
belabor
input.
the point.
I don't have any input for this one.
Okay.
Because I don't have what you guys have, which is tattoos.
Tattoos?
Yeah.
Tattoos? Tattoos?
Yeah. So
Bondi Beach? Tattoos?
we'll just touch on it briefly then. But I thought it was interesting because China is now cracking down really hard on people getting tattoos and making it a crime, punishable by arrest.
Wow.
If you get a tattoo, apparently it's still okay, but they're making the restrictions really harder and harder. And now I just read in this article that if you encourage someone to get a tattoo, so let's say someone comes up to Tony and they like his tattoos and they're like, oh, I really like your tattoo. Where'd you get it? I'm thinking about getting a tattoo myself. And Tony goes, yeah, go to this guy. He's awesome. He does really good work. You would get thrown in jail for that.
Secret police just swipes you, huh?
You would get, if they found out, they would throw you in jail.
I would arrest you.
Which is crazy to me.
I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting thing to talk about.
What if you are not from China and you go to visit China and you have tattoos?
I think that's even
probably even worse, and
and
you would have a hard time getting out.
So we're never going to China? Because of the tattoo rule?
That's not the reason I'm never
Or
going to China.
COVID.
But like if I went over there and someone asked like, "Hey, I like your Ewok tattoo."
Yeah.
Your baby Chewbacca.
My baby Chewbacca tattoo. Where'd you get it? I'd be like, oh, if I said, Brooke, oh, come to America and get this, and someone heard me, you wouldn't hear from me ever again.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be a big problem. And that kind of speaks to like it's just so interesting. That's more of a broader topic, but like tattoo culture in other countries is so different
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
tattoo culture in America.
It's known as
You
like
know?
art here, and other places probably more like delinquent.
Well, yeah, and it's like different. That's part of the article talks about that too. Is that like the past association with criminals getting tattoos, and actually, the government actually tattooing criminals to mark them. So that was a big thing for
What kind of tattoos?
a long time in China. I don't know.
Can I pick
like
my tattoo?
on their face, they would get a branding on their
Get a
face
Can I have
tear.
a watercolor flower up my arm, please?
to signify that I'm a criminal.
Of
Yikes.
course.
If you were a guy and they gave you water flower tattoos in prison,
You'd be in
do
big trouble.
not take a shower. Do not go into the showers, you guys.
Yeah.
It'll be like that scene in Chuck and Larry.
I love Chuck and
Look
Larry.
at
I just watched that movie for the
That's
first
so funny
time.
that
I'm everyone but...
that video of Kevin James is going viral now of him doing the NASCAR like
The
the
three
NASCAR
things?
thing. Yeah.
Three
And
things.
it was taken in 2006 when he was promoting Chuck and Larry.
Chuck and Larry,
He's
yeah.
got the Chuck and Larry hat.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's a funny movie.
Yeah.
It's,
But I just thought that was
yeah.
interesting, and that kind of speaks to tattoo culture more broadly. It
guys,
says
get your tattoos.
the legislation which
If
bans
you're
people
from China,
even
don't listen to this.
from
so
even
you don't arrest my
encouraging
husband.
those aged under 18 to get tattoos. It's just the latest move in the expanding crackdown on body art in China.
What if you, before they started doing this, what if you already had tattoos? What if you were in like a gang, you know, in China, and you had those tattoos?
Yeah.
I guess they would crack down on you even harder, huh?
Yeah,
If
I
you're
just
in a
don't
gang,
get
you're
the
What are you
feeling that
doing?
you're like
I lost the cap to my drink.
Oh,
I found it. But I mean, if you're a gang in China, you're probably associated with
why can't you be a good gang?
criminal.
a good gang.
We could be a good gang.
A good gang.
Why can't you be gang?
We could be the good gang. The good gang.
A good gang.
Yeah.
Good gang. Good. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I think also like in Japan, there's a similar stigma because of the Yakuza.
Yakuza, yeah.
The Yakuza traditionally have a lot of like the Japanese sleeves.
They're covered though.
Yeah, I mean,
covered.
and that's, I mean, they're beautiful. Like Japanese traditional artwork is so beautiful, but that was the stigma for a long time, up until the point. I think my brother told me this, that a lot of fighters in UFC. Now this is like when he was fighting more, so this is maybe
Yeah.
like 10 years ago. But he said that a lot of fighters in the UFC, when they would go to Japan to train or to fight, because at the time there was actually even before his time, there was a very famous fighting promotion in China.
Is that one?
No, it's Boss. Not in China. Japan. I forgot who fought for it.
Basrutin, whatever his name is.
Japanese. What is it? It was a really big one. The UFC bought them.
Pride.
Yeah.
Pride.
And a lot of those fights were held in. A lot of the Pride fights were held in Japan. And he said that if you were an American fighter and you had tattoos, like they literally wouldn't let you into a lot of gyms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let you into the sauna where you
Yeah.
had to take your shirt off because they had a zero tolerance policy on anyone with a tattoo.
Yeah.
So if you're like some American fighter and you had tattoos
Dang.
like I do, then that still counted and you still weren't allowed into certain places
Wow.
just because of that. Which is
But it's a
crazy.
watercolor flower on my arm.
It's art.
Yeah.
Dang,
So
that kind
pretty.
of sucks, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Makes me want more tattoos.
Out of spite.
Just out of
I've
spite.
been wanting to just get tat blasted.
Just tat blasted.
Oh my.
I told someone at work the other day, he was like, what will be your very, very last tattoo that you ever get? I said, very last. Oh, I got it. I said, you know the squirrel from Ice Age?
Oh my gosh.
He was like, yeah.
I know
I
where
go,
this is going.
I'm getting him on my inner thigh reaching up.
That's not funny.
That's funny. That would be a good last tattoo.
Right?
That's
That'd be
the
a
last
great last
tattoo you ever
tattoo.
get.
I don't want you to get that.
Or just the words that say your name on my butt cheek. That way I can tell people I got your name on my butt cheek.
I think that's like a really appropriate
I knew
last
somebody
one
who
to
did
get.
that.
You know?
Your name.
Yeah.
I also think this below the waist, something maybe on your
That
leg,
would be
that would be
funny.
perfect.
That would be
Nobody
really
would
funny.
see it.
Unless you're wearing shorts.
Shorty shorts.
Speedo gang.
Oh no.
Speedo gang.
Oh no.
Speedo
Please
gang.
don't wear Speedos.
Speedo.
Anybody. That's not. No. Never.
Tell that
That's
to
my
Michael
opinion.
Phelps.
Yeah.
I guess it's different if you're in the Olympics. But if you're just like on the beach, please don't.
Brooke is a Speedo hater.
They're not attractive.
What if you're some big buff guy?
Still not attractive. Wear some shorts. In my opinion.
What if that guy's your husband?
I don't want you to wear a Speedo.
Dang.
What
Well,
about in?
Why
in
do
the-
you want to?
What about
too
just
late.
in the privacy of your own home?
Yeah.
Could he wear a Speedo then?
We have a roommate, so I hope you're not walking around in a Speedo.
I actually don't shower fully naked. I wear a Speedo in the shower.
And I want you to,
Oh, good
I want
Lord.
everyone, all of our viewers to be left with that mental image.
Please.
Shower cap.
no.
I fill the shower.
Shower cap.
I fill the little cap up with the water and I drop it on my head so it like pops on
Mm-hmm.
easily and then wear my goggles.
Yep. Yep. Wow, goggles
Speedo.
too.
Yeah.
So
Goggles.
you're pretty clothed to considering it's a shower.
Yeah,
You've got
yeah.
3 items of clothing
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
That's 3 more than most people.
3 more than probably everybody.
You never know.
Yeah.
It's true.
Coca-Cola sponsor us, thank you.
Coca-Cola, yeah, sponsor us. Speedo companies sponsor us. Goggles, shower caps, sponsor
Disney
us.
Plus,
Disney Plus,
sponsor us.
sponsor
Disney
us.
Plus, don't sponsor. Don't listen to them. Don't.
Anyone who likes to do tattoos, sponsor us.
Yeah, that's cool.
We'll even freaking throw your name out there so people get tattoos from you. I really want a Pokemon
I've
tattoo.
never had a tattoo, so.
Pokemon tattoo.
I want a tattoo of Gengar.
That'd be cool. I was having this conversation with Nick, my coworker Nick. Shout out Nick.
Get my hand. No.
Earlier this week, and we were talking about tattoos. And he's got a lot of ink, but very different than mine. And we were talking about like people who get tattoos and that kind of thing. And someone we were talking about like recommending people to go to, and I said like I'm not the guy, because literally if you come to me and tell me you want a tattoo, I'm just gonna say that's awesome, get it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. I want a Pokemon tattoo. I want Gengar. Sweet, you should totally get it. Like I'm probably never
Yeah.
gonna tell you don't get it. So if you're like a young person and you're like, what should my first tattoo be? What do you think? Please don't come to me. Don't ask me, because I probably won't give you the answer that you should get.
It's going to be like some super random like tattoo.
It's going to be an anime of 2 people in love on your forearm. Or a dragon on your shoulder.
Yikes.
Those are like actually.
Yeah.
She's never going to hear this. She doesn't listen to us.
Those aren't even bad.
Dang, Brooke's
They're not
hating on
bad,
people.
but, like-
Especially the dragon. The dragon's sick. That's the kind of thing. And even the other one, I was like, get it.
I know, but she's my
Would you ever get a portrait
sister.
tattoo? Would you ever get a portrait tattoo?
I would not.
No?
No, I don't want a realistic face on my body.
They look ugly.
Have you seen that tattoo
In my
the
opinion-
person got of Wednesday?
Sorry if you have
No.
That
one. I'm
looks
sorry.
like it's a mixture of Wednesday and Samuel Jackson.
That's
It is
hilarious.
really badly done.
No.
Oh,
The thing
gosh.
about portraits is they don't first of all, you got to find
An excellent artist.
really good artist who basically
Yeah.
only does portraits.
Yeah.
And they're going to be expensive.
Yeah.
And the thing is, portraits have a lot of really thin line work, and over time, thin lines don't tend to hold very well on the human body. Bold lines do. That's why American traditional artwork is awesome. They say bold will hold.
Bold will hold.
That's like a common
sounds dirty.
phrase in
baby?
tattooing,
Bold
with
will
American
hold,
traditional
baby.
tattoos, is they bold will hold. Those thin lines to get all the little creases in the face and all those things, they might even look amazing now and a year from now, but 10 years from now, if you do anything active or you're outside a lot or anything like that,
Or you get old and saggy
or
skin.
eventually 10, 20 years from now, it's like,
Is it just me, or when you got your tattoos, when they do the thin lines, to me the thin lines hurt more than the bolder lines.
I think the reason for that, because that's true, that's I don't have a lot of thin lines.
It literally
actually,
feels
but-
like they're slicing into your skin.
I think the reason for the thin lines hurting more,
Mickey Mouse hands.
and this is coming from someone who is not a tattoo artist, so
Yeah.
I don't actually know anything, but my theory is that they have to finish all the outlining first, all the bigger lines.
Yeah.
And so let's say you're an hour in and you've just maybe not an hour, but let's say you're 30 minutes in, hour in, whatever, and they finish all the outlines, so all the big bold lines. You have to take a break because he or she has to change needles and change ink and whatever. And it's during the breaks that I tend to hurt the most.
Ooh, it's the downtime.
It's the downtime because when they come back at you after, let's say they take 10 minutes,
Yeah.
in those 10 minutes, so much might have swollen up.
Yeah.
So that it's that much more sensitive. So then they come back, they do the thin lines, and in those 10 minutes, my skin got really swollen and irritated. So now those thin lines really hurt.
When I got my Phoenix, that was my very first big tattoo. Mm-hmm. It was originally going to be the guy thought it was going to be 6 hours.
Yeah.
It turned out to be I got it done in 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And every time he asked me for a break, I was like, "No, let's do it. Let's keep going." He was like, "Are you
push
serious?" It's like, dude, the
Yeah.
more I wait, the more it's going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to have that much downtime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, get your tattoos.
Or don't. You don't have to have one if you don't want one.
If you're still living in your parents' house, make sure you ask for their permission.
If you're old enough, you don't have to.
No. So I think that if you're living under your parents' roof and they tell you not to get tattoos, you better not get a tattoo because they could easily kick you out.
Okay, that's respectful.
Yeah. Basically, you're rolling the dice.
Yeah.
Keep on rolling. rolling.
Okay. Now we resort to Limp Bizkit. Get your tattoos. Look up what the meaning of Limp Bizkit means.
What does it mean?
And we will see you guys
I don't want to know, actually.
next week.
All right.
Keep on rolling, baby.
Keep on rolling.
Keep on rolling.
Have a great rest of the week.
Rolling,
guys. See you guys later.
rolling.